Let's get straight to it. You may have seen the headlines. A major Vatican commission just declared that admitting women to the diaconate is, in their words, ruled out. If you're a Catholic who knows the Catechism, you might be wondering, why was this even news? Haven't we known this? The Church's teaching seems clear. So today, we need to ask the real question. If the teaching is so clear, why does this push for women deacons persist with such intensity? And what did this commission actually accomplish? First, the facts. On December 4th, a commission led by Cardinal Giuseppe Petracci, which had been studying the question since 2020, released its summary. After 5 years, their key conclusion was this: historical and theological research rules out the possibility of moving in the direction of admitting women to the diaconate. That sounds definitive, but then they added a curious line. They said this assessment does not at present allow for a definitive judgment to be formulated. This is the line that has caused confusion. As the article asks, how can you rule out the possibility but not make a definitive judgment? Especially when popes have already spoken definitively. This is the crucial part. The commission wasn't creating new teaching. It was looking at a mountain of existing, clear doctrine. Let's walk through it. Canon Law 1024 is blunt. A baptized male alone receives sacred ordination validly. Pope St. John Paul II, in his 1994 letter Ordinatio Sacerdotalis, stated, "The Church has no authority whatsoever to confer priestly ordination on women. This judgment is to be definitively held by all the Church's faithful." Pope Francis, who allowed the discussion to happen, has also said the reservation of the priesthood to males is not a question open to discussion. The teaching is not just a rule. It's about the very nature of the sacrament instituted by Christ. The male-only character of holy orders is something the Church does not have the power to change the substance of. This brings us to the heart of the matter. If the teaching is settled, why the constant pressure? First, activist momentum. Well-organized groups like the Women's Ordination Conference have been advocating for this for decades. Their voice is powerful, especially in Western media. Second, the Synod on Synodality. This recent multi-year meeting became a major platform for the issue. It was raised frequently, and one of the official working groups was tasked with re-examining it due to reported interest. Third, a perception of openness. When Pope Francis established the first study commission in 2016, it was seen by some as a signal that the question might be open for change, even though his own words said otherwise. Here's a detail from the report that cuts through the noise. Cardinal Petracci noted that during the synod, while there were numerous spoken interventions in favor of women deacons, only 22 individuals or groups actually submitted formal papers arguing for it. The commission concluded that this advocacy, though loud and skillful, cannot be considered as the voice of the synod, let alone of the people of God as a whole. In other words, it is a vocal minority, not a widespread groundswell. As Australia's Bishop Anthony Randazzo said, the clamor comes from a small minority with a large, powerful Western voice obsessed with pushing this issue. So what was the point? The commission served a few purposes. It took the question seriously and studied it exhaustively. It affirmed the unbroken tradition. And perhaps most importantly, it publicly revealed the narrow base of the campaign pushing for change. The commission's job wasn't to invent new teaching, but to examine if there was any basis in scripture or tradition to overturn the old. They found none. I'd like to know what you think. Does this historical and theological clarity help settle the question for you? Or do you think the pastoral needs of the Church keep the conversation alive in a different way? Share your respectful perspective in the comments. If this breakdown of a complex Vatican story was helpful, please give the video a like and share it. Thanks for watching.